exploring lakes, rivers, and reservoirs across the country with an unyielding goal to enlighten viewers from a fisheye perspective. Come along and we'll investigate the habitat. Much more than a fishing show, this is an eye-opening aquatic experience. Welcome to Kim Stricker's Hook and Look. Offshore ledges, whether shallow or deep, can prove to be extremely productive, especially during the summertime. Current, bottom content, and structure all play a role as to where bass and baitfish converge.
Here it comes. Oh,
Kentucky Lake expert Sam Lashlee accompanies Kim Stricker to share his skillful aptitude for locating open water sweet spots where big bass line up.
What a pig! Goodness gracious!
Like turtles on a log.
When you invited me to do this show with you, I really got excited. I didn't want to blow your head up, man, but I mean, I've been so excited about doing this show. You know, you've been explaining to me about the cameras that you've got and that you're going to, you know, send them down and look at these ledges. I haven't even gotten a chance to look at the ledges like that. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what that looks like on camera. I've got an idea what it looks like in my mind, but I'm not really sure, so I'm excited about it.
what speed reel do you use?
7-1.
Yeah, so you like ripping it, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
That's a trick.
I want them to either get it or get out of the way.
That's
Those big ones don't like getting out of the way, you know what I'm saying? There's one.
There's one right there.
Good one. Good one.
Oh, that is a good one. Let me get my...
This 8XD natural shad, man.
Awesome.
One of the first casts I've ever made with it. What a pig! Goodness gracious. You see that?
Oh, very nice, Sam.
Oh, it's coming on this side. I mean a pig.
Right over here, that's a dandy.
First stop, one of the first casts.
Oh, that's awesome, Sam.
Oh my gosh, that's a big old Kentucky Lake bass, man.
And that's that new color.
That's that new color. That's that brand new color by Strike King. It's an 8XD.
And how many of those you have?
One, we're gonna have to share it. I guess I'm just gonna give you my rod and make the next cast with it. Woo!
Good
Just
job.
starting off, man.
That's fabulous.
Oh man, what a good old fish. It's a big old fish. That's what you gotta have, twin tournaments on this lake.
Yep.
Big old, huge Kentucky Lake bass.
Fantastic.
Awesome. But the way that creek channel drop does, it makes a little horseshoe right before a point. And right in that horseshoe, before it makes a point, most of the time, is where the big ones will get. Something congregates them right there, and I'm sure it's because of the gizzard shad. That's what the gizzard shad like. So, you know, the gizzard shad on this lake, I would say that is at least 80–85% of a big bass's forage, what he eats or what she eats. To catch fish on this lake consistently, even if you're shallow, you need to know where those shad are.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're following.
And that's why you're throwing a big bait.
And that's what they're eating, and that's why I throw a big bait. No, no, come off. No, it's fish. Watch out, here's a good one. All good one. A good
Oh,
one.
another good one.
She barely hung.
Get him on me, get him
It's sitting as big as the other one, but it's a pretty good one. All right.
Good job. Yeah, you got that last hook.
Strike King hook got it though, man.
You know it. The bass holding on this particular ledge were set up directly on the bottom in about 16 to 17 feet of water. And just like Sam describes, like turtles on a log. Because of the diminished water clarity here, capturing underwater footage of these bass without spooking them was difficult, especially at greater depths where much of the sunlight was filtered out by the water's turbidity. Though encircled by the dim eeriness of impaired visibility, we are still able to detect the bottom composition, which consists of a silt-dusted shell bed. Ominous-looking stumps would occasionally materialize out of the darkness. And when you reach the sweet spot, there were these fatties positioned close to the floor. A short distance away, another. Then another. Like turtles on a log, these hefty bass were comfortably waiting, strategically positioned to ambush the schools of shad as they cruised by feeding on plankton.
A lot of times you can sit here and catch every fish in the school.
Really?
And we haven't been that fortunate this year. They're kind of biting a lot different than they have in the past. So you pull up, you catch a couple, and sometimes you have to let them reset up. Like ease off of them, it's like they know you're there. It's really crazy. So if you kind of circle around and ease up the drop, let them rest a little bit, and then ease back down to the school, a lot of times they'll reset up and you can just bang them again.
If you like what you see on today's program, be sure to like us on Facebook as well. We'll be right back. Hook and Look is brought to you by Strike King Lure Company, #1 in fishing lures. Seagar, trust Seagar when everything is on the line. Power Pole, swift, silent, secure. Aquaview, reinventing underwater cameras. Deep Blue Coffee, dive in. And by Indian River, Michigan Tourist Bureau, pure water, pure trails, pure north.
Okay, now that you've had the experience running this boat, what do you think of the Evinrude E-Tech G2?
I'm very impressed with it. Got great pickup, great acceleration, great mid-range acceleration. We've been hauling around a lot of equipment and it's still real quick.
What do you think of the iTrim, the automatic trim?
I've never seen anything like that before.
And it's so good at it. I mean, it does it better than I do.
Yeah, it does it just as good as I do, probably better than you. No, I'm kidding, big boy.
After coming to the conclusion that the ledge fish were acting strangely hesitant, Kim attempts to employ an element of finesse in hopes of soliciting a bite.
Good fish.
Oh man, you got one. Good one?
On that little Ocho.
Really?
I don't know how big he is. Oh, he's not a bad fish. Yeah.
All right.
You know it.
Sometimes you just gotta finesse them.
You gotta finesse them, that's for sure.
You know, it's very good to know that that's a good chunk. You know, there's been so many big tournaments and so many people fishing, you know, that sometimes you just gotta change.
That's it. That one's got one of them little...
You just taught me something. I'm gonna start bringing a spinning rod to the lake with me.
I told you those northern tactics. What I switched to is a finesse presentation, but just using a tour grade jig head. This is a 3/16 ounce size, but this is Strike King's new 4-inch Ocho. They now offer a 4-inch, and I'm just using it as a jig head worm, rigging it, Texas rig, 8-pound Tatsu with 20-pound smackdown braid. Have you ever heard the saying, to catch a unique fish, unique up on them? Well, truth be known, these ledge fish had recently received an inordinate amount of tournament pressure, and it appeared that after a few casts with the obtrusive impression of the large crankbaits, if the fish didn't strike on the initial few casts, it seemed they spooked and dispersed from the target zone. So we determined that a more stealthy approach was in order. Fish.
Got one.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
That's it, we didn't even nick up on them.
That's exactly right. 8-pound line here.
8-pound line?
8-pound Tatsu. Here he comes.
Oh,
smallmouth! Of course.
Woo, did you see that jump?
They must know I'm here. That was a great jump.
Oh my gosh, did you see it? He jumped 3 foot out of the water.
Pulling that drag.
Woo. Looks like you fought a smallmouth or two before.
You got that right.
Oh, it's a good one. Golly, it's a good one.
They don't want to quit for nothing.
Woo.
Come on up here. Yes,
Oh, yeah.
You got it. Smallmouth. Very nice.
Great job.
Jig head worm. Just using a little
Awesome job.
true grade jig head.
Do you think about what we just did? We've been pulling up on these ledges and scanning and throwing those big heavy crankbaits, and these fish have been beat up. So we, talked about it. We said the next place, I'm just going to a place I know I've caught fish before. We're going to sneak up on them. So what we did was we stopped about 100 yards shy. We snuck up with a trolling motor, made his first cast.
Yep.
We both made a cast together, and he catches a very big smallmouth. Just an awesome fish.
Fantastic.
Great job.
Thank you. Yes. Well, thank you.
There's more to learn about the ledges. Coming right up. Welcome back. Kim's guest, Sam Lashlee, is a competitive angler with a stellar history. However, Sam currently spends much of his time instructing others on how to prepare for tournaments throughout Tennessee River impoundments, specializing in how to proficiently locate quality fish through proper use of their electronics.
Well, there's certain things you can do wrong when you're looking at your electronics, like this hummingbird. It looks great. But if you're not at the right speed, you're going to miss things. The most productive speed to me is around the 6 mile an hour mark. So you want to have your miles per hour mark up on your screen like you've got. You can see these fish are the size of them. Like that fish right there is well over 4 pounds. That's a 4-pound bass. Now these right here were 2 and 3 pounders. So you've got the 2 and 3 pounders right off the drop,
Yep.
and then you see these bigger bass on top of the drop. Like they've taken over, that's their territory, and they're king of the hills, what I call them. In a tournament situation, I'll scan till I find a group of fish that I know are set up just perfect, and what I call like turtles on a log. Okay, if I see bass that are just one right after another, lined up on the bottom, just in a row, then I think those fish are really ready to bite.
Yep.
Now the fish that are suspending up or out off the drop and you're not sure if they're bass or not, I'll typically in a tournament will not stop on those fish.
Okay.
I won't stop until I see exactly what I'm looking for. Big one.
There's a good one. There's a good one.
Maybe. Decent. Decent.
Yes. There you go.
Oh man, did you see that? He come off in the net. Good net job,
He
man.
did.
That's a pretty fish.
That is nice. Hopefully
A little skinny.
we get
Have
some
you been eating
more.
very good? Have you not been eating very good? Long fish.
Get some more to bite
Real
off
long
there.
fish.
He's long.
That's a nice Kentucky Lake largemouth bass. Gave me a thrill.
And that is the,
The 8XD Natural
8XD.
Shad is brand new.
oh, you went back to that.
Went
That's
back to it.
two, that's
Snuck
three
it back
nice
in
fish,
there,
I
didn't
think.
I?
Very nice. Well, hey, I'm getting out there with my 10XD and catching big one.
Strike King 8XD Natural Shad. Very important to know is when you make a cast and you catch a fish, to duplicate that exactly 100%. There's just something about it. Those fish will be stacked up in the exact same spot. If you get off a little bit one way or another, you probably won't catch them unless you've got a mega school that's spread up and down the ledge, But if you'll notice when you first hook the fish, look at your hummingbird, notice exactly where you are on that drop, reel the fish in, do what you have to do, and then go back to the exact same spot, get the exact same line, make the exact same angled cast. Fish?
That's fish. That's a fish. A 10XD. Oh yeah, that's a fish. Yeah, that's a
I need to
fish.
get the net.
Whoa! Yeah.
Good job, man.
Well, that's my first 10XD fish.
Is it?
There we go.
A nice one, man.
A good solid
Beautiful
fish.
Kentucky Lake fish.
Fantastic. Man, them big old, those are heavy hooks in these. I guess they don't expect you to catch small fish. They got them beefed up.
They do.
Get off there. Isn't that nice?
Stay tuned. We'll return to Kentucky Lake right after these messages. This portion of Hook and Look is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Evinrude, introducing the all-new Evinrude E-Tech G2. Cushit, world's most comfortable rod butt. Simms Fishing Products, the choice of professional guides and anglers worldwide. And by Sportfish Michigan, your source for the top charter captains and guides. In response to viewer requests, and in spite of the poor visibility, Danny Stricker prepares to dive and makes his descent on one of Kentucky Lake's shallower mussel beds.
All right, I'm on the bottom. Oh man, I really don't like this kind of clarity. Wow. The camera can definitely see a lot better than my eyes. I can really see 1 foot past my hand. Got a dead mussel in front of me, it's wide open. I can show people what that is. It's actually a really heavy mussel shell. They're pretty big. The size of my hand. A lot of what you think is actually rocks down here are mussels. When you're on a mussel bed, it's just loaded.
The prevailing bottom substrate throughout Kentucky Lake is sand and silt. However, mussel beds offer a hard bottom substrate, which is nutrient-rich and attracts baitfish. Productive ledges are much more than just a depth change. In addition to a hard bottom substrate, key areas, the proverbial spot on the spot, typically include a mix of stumps or brush. Ledges offer bass food and habitat throughout the bass's entire life, as Danny discovers when he bumps into some largemouth fingerlings that were seeking refuge on an isolated stump.
Well, I just came up on a stump and I got some big fish on the top of it. I almost hit it. I didn't know what it was. I've got a school of baby bass, only about, I don't know, an inch or two. Little fingerlings hovering over the top of this stump. Get through my viewfinder, seeing if I see any fish. That wasn't a bass. We'll have to look at the camera, man. It scared the heck out of me. I scared him off the bottom.
Not every fish we encounter underwater is a bass, and the same holds true with the fish you locate on your fish finder. Those of you that fish Kentucky Lake and other stained waters would be pleasantly surprised on how well you can study the ledges with an AquaView camera. Even in off-colored water, an AquaView empowers you with the ability to positively identify bottom content, structure, and most importantly, fish species and how they're positioned, visually confirming your electronics image and leaving you without doubt or a misguided perception. And again, your lake doesn't have to be clear to do so. I'm telling you, this is a very useful tool.
Getting to the end here, there should be a fish running through here. Brush pile?
That's a fish.
No way. Is it a fish? Hold on, let me get the net.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
10 XD, I'm loving it. Woo! I am loving it. Oh, that's a beauty. Sam, you know where they are. There's no question about it, man.
It's a big one.
That is awesome. Could almost kiss you, you know?
I'll put you right there and you can catch them. You have proven to be a fish catching machine.
Thank you so much. All right. Thank you, fish. Well, I tell you, I'm learning to love the ledges, and I'm learning it from Sam Lashlee. Hey, if you really want to gain some valuable knowledge about Kentucky Lake or any other Tennessee River impoundments, be sure to give Sam a call and stock up on some XD crankbaits.
While visiting Kentucky Lake, the Hook and Look crew stayed at Fishtail Lodge. All cabins and rooms are ground level, air conditioned, and include cable TV, ceiling fans, fridge, and microwave. There's no need to unhook your boat either, and electrical outlets are located right outside your door. Conveniently located just 1.5 miles from Paris Landing Marina and boat launch. Fishtail Lodge. Stay once, you're hooked.
Thanks for joining us today, and be sure to tune in next week when once again we'll hook and look.
Hook and Look is a Kim Stricker production.